Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group. I'm your host, as always, Ryan, and today we are going to be taking a little look at three of the biggest stars in TNA and the fact that their contracts expire at the beginning of 2025. So TNA is going through somewhat of a transitional period at the moment, especially when it comes to their roster. They've lost some talent over the last few months with the likes of Speedball, Mike Bailey, Kushida, Rhino, Mustafa Ali, and Trent Seven all leaving the company for various reasons. At the start of 2025, it's no better for the TNA fans. In fact, it's worse as three top stars set to leave the company in the space of just a few short weeks. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at the three wrestlers who will be leaving TNA at the beginning of the year. So we'll start with Jonathan Gresham. Now, after a short stint in TNA back in 2016, Gresham returned to the company in December of 2021 with his Ring of Honor World Championship around his waist. This was during the time when Ring of Honor had gone on a hiatus, with no one really knowing what was going on with the company. Gresham took the title to a number of promotions to defend it, including TNA, where he successfully retained the title against Chris Sabin and Steve Maclin. After Tony Khan purchased Ring of Honor, he decided to go in a new direction with Claudio Castagnoli as the face of the company, leading to a heated discussion between Jonathan Gresham and Tony Khan, which in fact led to Gresham being granted his release from his Ring of Honor contract. In December of 2022, Gresham signed a 2-year contract with TNA in what originally looked like a fantastic move that would suit both parties. Gresham in TNA has been so stop-start that fans will be forgiven for not even remembering that he's with the company. Gresham, though, is a former world champion, pure champion, and tag team champion in Ring of Honor. So you would expect there to be some interest in him at the start of the year when he becomes a free agent. It wouldn't surprise me if WWE brought him into the company and had him on the NXT brand, where he could be a great addition to the roster and could even help with the young talent to improve their technical wrestling abilities. I wouldn't expect him to go to AEW or Ring of Honor, given his sour history with Tony Khan, but I would love to see him have a short stint in New Japan Pro Wrestling at some point. Well, where do you think Jonathan Gresham goes next? Let us know in the comment section below. So next up, Josh Alexander. The Walking Weapon is a former 2-time TNA World Champion, X Division Champion, and 2-time Tag Team Champion. So it's no surprise that TNA offered him another contract extension. But Alexander has decided to leave TNA after 7 years in the company. There has been speculation online for a while now whether Josh would sign for one of the big promotions, i.e. WWE or AEW. Just last month, Josh helped to fuel that speculation by announcing he will no longer be taking independent bookings, or indie dates, if you will. Now, WWE, for the most part, don't allow their talent to do any indie shows, or if they do, it's very few and far between, whereas AEW are more likely to allow talent to do indie shows. But we did see Will Ospreay just this year when he signed to AEW said his goodbye to the indies with that fantastic match against Michael Oku. So that is why fans are speculating that Josh may well in fact be off to one of the bigger companies, as he has said he's no longer taking independent bookings. With WWE's current working relationship with TNA, we have some talent from TNA appear on NXT over the course of 2024. with all of the wrestlers seeming to have very positive experiences on Shawn Michaels' brand. Now, Josh Alexander's former tag team partner, Ethan Page, is signed to WWE's third brand, and he signed there earlier this year after being released by AEW and quickly became the NXT champion. So you would have to expect that Alexander would be talking to Page to find out as much information about both AEW and WWE as possible before making his decision. Now, Josh did state on the Chris Van Vliet show that his contract is in fact due up on February the 15th, so unless there was some sort of agreement between WWE, Josh Alexander, and TNA, he wouldn't in fact be released in time to make a Royal Rumble appearance. Where do you think Josh Alexander goes next? Let us know in the comment section below. So that takes us to our last one, and arguably the biggest loss for TNA out of the whole lot. Jordynne Grace. Now, Grace has not only been the face of TNA's women's division, or knockouts division is what they call it, for the last few years, but she's also been one of the faces of the entire company. Now, speculation about Grace's future has been a top talking point amongst fans since her shocking Royal Rumble appearance at the beginning of 2024. Now, Jordynne has been one of the top stars used in bridging of WWE and TNA since the start of their working relationship together, and at one point she even challenged for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, according to the dirt sheets, Grace's contract was originally due up in the summer of 2025, but both parties were able to come to an agreement which would see Jordynne Grace as a free agent by the end of January. And with that Royal Rumble pay-per-view being at the start of February, it's looking highly likely that we will see the Juggernaut once again make an appearance during the Rumble match. Now, there's also been talk online about the return of Tessa Blanchard to TNA, maybe ruffling some feathers with Jordynne Grace, but it's expected that with them losing a top name like Jordynne, that they revert and gone to Blanchard to come in and basically take over from the spot of Jordynne Grace when she leaves the company. So we expect to see Grace lose in a match against Tessa before then going on to the WWE. Now, hopefully WWE will use Grace on the main roster straight away should she come into the company. Although it would be good to see Grace mixing up with some of the previous new signings in Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, and Delta, the main roster is crying out for some fresh women's main event caliber talent. And that's just what the former three-time TNA Knockouts champion is. A ready-made star. Jordynne Grace to WWE is pretty much a foregone conclusion. It's more of which brand would you expect to see her on when she does sign to the WWE. Would it be Raw, SmackDown, or NXT? Let us know in the comment section below. And don't forget, as always, to hit that like button, drop us a comment, and subscribe to the wrestling group today.